Script Analysis 101, Ellipses and Dashes. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazing wife, Brooke. Bing! I don't know why I did the bing. There's a sound effect. Anyway, on to our topic. Script Analysis 101, Ellipses and Dashes. This discussion falls under the broader topic of understanding script writing conventions. See, many actors neglect to take a script analysis class, which is a crucial part of the foundation of an actor's training. Actors falsely assume that once auditions start pouring in, that they will replace continuing education. Doesn't work that way. You must study script analysis. You will learn so much. It'll make your life easier, and it'll make your prep for auditions so much faster. And that's increasingly becoming a necessity in today's industry. So let's talk about two script conventions that tend to trip up actors: the ellipsis, or ... and the dash. Let's start with the dash. Let's look at some sample dialogue. This is a quick interchange between Chester and Roger. Chester starts out, "Are you feeling okay, Roger? You seem..." And then Roger comes in and says, "Off, you think?" Let's first assume that you're Roger. So if your cue line, the line from Chester, ends in a dash, then that means that you need to cut off Chester mid-sentence. Conversely, if you're Chester, that means that Roger needs to cut you off mid-sentence. So if you're self-taping your audition at home and your reader isn't an actor, you may have to coach them on these script conventions. And here's a pro tip. If you're Chester in this example and your line ends with the dash, make sure you know what the end of the sentence actually is. Because if your reader doesn't cut you off in time, or you're on set and your co-star doesn't cut you off in time, it'll be super awkward when you just stop talking mid. Right? No one cut me off. Awkward. So keep the dialogue going until the other actor cuts you off. This is where improv training can also come in handy. Also, don't let your ego get to you if your reader or co-star cuts you off too early, because unless there is a key word or phrase that must be spoken and understood before the cutoff, then don't worry about it. As long as the result feels conversational and natural, you're good to go. The ellipsis. The dash is pretty straightforward. The ... or ellipsis, however, can cause confusion with actors. In short, an ellipsis represents a thought that trails off. It is not a cutoff situation. This, of course, is obvious in the following script example. Roger says, "Where was I last Tuesday? I can't recall." Wow, my memory is horrible. In this example, as Roger, the ... comes mid-paragraph, so it's obvious that there's no one around me who's going to cut me off. And with the parenthetical of the word beat in there, it should be obvious to any actor how to handle this type of ... When the ellipsis comes at the end of your dialogue, that's where it can get a little more tricky. Sometimes your reader may think that's a cutoff situation. Again, don't hesitate to adjust them on that. And if your cue line from the reader is a ... let them drift off in thought before you come in with your next line. So let's go back to the very first script sample we gave you, but this time let's replace the dash with a ... and see how it changes things. You see how the punctuation changes the intent of this moment? With Chester trailing off, it creates this time gap in between the two sentences that might be intended by the writer for different reasons. By having that gap, it can allow Chester to maybe find something comedic in his trail off. "Are you okay, Roger? You seem..." Conversely, Roger might be able to find some comedy in how long he takes to jump in. Chester asks him, "Roger, are you okay? You seem..." And then Roger sits there. "Off, you think?" Or whatever. So clearly, by replacing the dash with a ... it changes the pacing of this scene. In short, the dash and the ... are not just grammatical nuances. They can significantly affect how you discover moments in the script. Now, in a perfect world, my explanation would be done. However, not all writers use these two conventions consistently in these ways. Occasionally, a writer uses a ... as a cutoff. Take this script example. Roger says, "I like Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Twixt, and ... And then Chester says, "Ew, Milky Way." What if the writer actually means for that to be a cutoff so that Chester comes in right on top of Roger before he can finish the list of his favorite candy bars? I like Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Twix. Ew, Milky Way. It's not written to be a cutoff, but sometimes the writer intends it to be a cutoff even though they use the ... So what to do? Well, this is where your years of training come in handy. Because I know you've been taking classes for so long, including script analysis, you will be seasoned enough to make an intelligent decision on what the writer's intent was, whether they used a dash or a ... And that's the crux of all this, discovering the writer's intent. Script analysis isn't a connect the dots experience that leads to some predetermined end performance. No. It's a journey into the writer's mind to discover their sense of rhythm, pacing, comedy, tone, etc. And then once you're in that writer's head, you can start collaborating with them by adding in your own signature performance. Those are the actors that get cast. The ones that honor the script and yet somehow add more to the script than was on the page. I hope that little sampling of script analysis was helpful. If you have any further thoughts on the matter, feel free to drop a comment below or send us an email. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.